All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, this is Brian Ference coming to you live. I'm going to be cooking some steaks today. We're going to do reverse sear grill. You can follow me on X at BrianFerence1 or at BrianFerence.com. Again, I'm going to be reverse searing some steaks. These are all Riverbend ribeye steaks. Let's see. I've got ribeye. Oh, I do have some New York strip. I've got two New York strips and 2 ribeyes. These are Riverbend Ranch. They're no antibiotics, no hormones ever. It's a black Angus beef. I've ordered this for years. I really enjoy this. You can buy some if you want at riverbendranchsteaks.com/steaks. Again, I'm Brian Ference. I'm going to be cooking some steaks up. Let me get these out of the package. I'm going to take out my trusty knife here and open these up. I'm going to be a little bit careful not to cut myself on camera. That's something that could easily happen to me, I suppose, other people. All right, so I'm going to take these out. I'm outdoors. This is my outdoor kind of kitchen cooktop area. And I'm going to be smoking these today. I have a Rectech smoker with pellets, wood-fired pellets. All right, I'm going to take this one out. And I did thaw these. I usually do, they come frozen, but I usually thaw them up. My wife kind of prefers the taste of these to steaks in the restaurant, at least the way I cook them. And let me get this last one out. All right, got it out. This one actually still feels a little bit frozen, but that's okay. Then let's see. I'm gonna grab some of my spices here. I'm gonna add just a little bit of rock salt first. And I'm gonna do that just on both sides. All right, I got the rock salt on there. And then I am going to use one of my favorite seasonings. It's called Bullshit. It really is. I don't sell this or anything. It's called Bullshit from Big Cock Ranch. That's the name of it. That's what it says. And it's really it's a good kind of healthy, tasty one. It includes sea salt, pepper, paprika, brown sugar, granulated garlic, granulated onion, granulated celery. So I already put a little bit of salt on here, so it's adding a little bit more. But that's why I didn't heavily salt the steaks, because I knew there's some salt in here as well. And I will just do both sides, and then I'm going to try and get the edges as well. So I got the sides there, and because I'm on this stainless steel cooktop, I'm going to just try to get some on the edges and the corners. Looks like the ribeyes thawed more so than the New York strips. All right, so I got that done. Let me get my paper towel here. Got this paper towel roll that I kind of keep it on. But I'm going to drop the first 2 over there into the trash because I had some windstorms. There we go. Let me hold up one of these steaks so you can see it. All right, so this is the ribeye with the seasoning. So it's a light dusting seasoning. And then we're going to go mobile with this camera here. Let's see. I'm going to drop these onto my cooktop surface here. So this is a smoker. It's a Traeger. Or sorry, it's not a Traeger. It's a Rectech. And I'm going to check actually my wood-fired pellets because I'm not sure how many I have. Let's open this up and look. All right, I've got a decent amount in there. Usually I like to add it so it's filled to this line here, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Let's see if I got one open. I do. And it looks like what I have today in there is this all natural barbecue hardwood pellets competition blend. So it's a competition blend, 8-in-1 cooking pellets, real flavor. Looks like it's got it's got hickory, apple, mesquite, cherry, maple, pecan, bunch of them. All right, so I'm going to put this in there, add just a little bit to it. All right, that's probably good enough. Drop this back down. And again, I just want to make sure that those pellets are up to that line there. All right, we got that going. The way I turn it on, it's an electric start. And I've got it set to 225 there, which is usually what I do, but this is a reverse sear, so it's gonna smoke it first. I'm gonna actually move this one. And then I'm gonna put a sear plate on there. And what the sear plate is gonna do is after it reaches temperature, I'm going to sear it. But I'm out of this. This is kind of what the sear plate looks like. Let me just show this. So it has these nice ridges. That one's actually dirty. I'm going to get a new one that's not dirty. Let's see. Let me pull this off. All right. Now we're really mobile. So there's the steaks right there. Those are kind of going. I'm just going to check my setting because I want to make sure I have the exact temperature that I want. I usually keep notes. And so for my reverse sear steak, yeah, I have them at 225. And I'm going to smoke these until they reach an internal temperature of 110 degrees. And then I'm going to put them on the grill sear plate until we reach 129 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where I want to take them off, the internal temperature. So those are on. You can see it's starting to heat up. It's already at 96 in there. And that'll take a minute to kick on. While it does that, I'm just going to kind of clean up my workspace a little bit, including my knife. I have my outdoor sink over here. Outdoor sink's a little dirty too, but I'm just going to clean the knife off a little bit. And again, I'm going to use my outdoor paper towel roll. But once I have the knife off, then I'm going to clean off my cooktop surface. And then I'll get a new one of those sear plates. So let's see. Put that down for a second. All right, so there's my knife. I'm just kind of carefully cleaning it. All right, that's pretty good. Fold that back up. Back in the pocket it goes. Let me put some of my spices away. So there's the rock salt that I had. You can see that. And I just kind of keep it in this outdoor waterproof kit. I guess it's a waterproof box. And there's the bullshit spice again. So all my spices there. Close that up. Seal it against the rain and the weather. And then I am going to clean up the surface a little bit here because I made a big mess. You can see actually on my grill, there's a little bit of smoke starting to come off in the back there. Hope you can see that coming out of the vent. Should see more smoke coming up in a minute, but it's reached 116 internal temperature already. So it's going to take a little bit of time before it reaches that temperature. All right, I'm going to spray and clean this off. I'm cleaning it with Soluguard Botanical Concentrate. So this is like an all-natural cleaner. Works good on stainless steel. That's what I like to use it on. And then I'm just going to do one wipe, and I'm probably going to spray and wipe it one more time, actually. So it's a little bit cleaner. I need to refill this bottle. Again, if you're just joining, this is Brian Ference, Brian Ference 1, and I'm just doing a reverse sear of 4 steaks. I got 4 New York strips and 4 Where's the other one? New York strips. I forget what the other one. Let me check the package. Let's go back there. Okay, there's the New York strip one, and it was ribeye. So there's 2 New York strips and 2 ribeye. Again, those are the Riverbend Ranch steaks. You can buy those at riverbendranchsteaks.com/steaks. And those are all natural, no antibiotics, no hormones. I definitely like cooking with that. All right, I got my cooking surface cleaned up a little bit. My internal temperature is 163. It's still going to take a little while. I am going to get one of my clean sear plates. Here's the old one, a little bit dirty. So I'm going to replace that out, get a new one. I thought I had a couple out here, but it must have got dirty. So I'm going to go in the house, get one of those sear plates, and get ready. Again, if you're interested, check out the podcast that I do is magamindpodcast.com. There's a bunch of episodes on there. Do that with my friend James Richard. All right, so yeah, there's 2 dirty sear plates in here. And let me check. Hey, Google, set kitchen to 100%. Yeah, I do have Google running my lights. It's in guest mode, so it's not supposed to record or listen, but eventually I'm going to be replacing Google. I don't know if I have a clean sear plate. Let me check the dishwasher. All right, I don't see one, so I'm going to just wash one real quick. There's the sink. And I'm just going to add some soap and clean it up. With these sear plates, the most important thing is, of course, the top surface be clean. That's where the meat actually touches. So I'm not going to do like a real deep clean of this right now. Probably should have cleaned the other one. Not as dirty. All right. There we go. So I'll let you look at this. Again, it's not perfectly clean, but what is clean is the top surface where the steak is actually going to touch. And the rest of it's kind of like a drip pan. And then there's some vents where it comes through. There's my dog, Daisy. How's it going, Daisy? All right. So let's put this on the grill so that this starts to get hot. Again, I'm doing a reverse sear. So I'm going to smoke the steaks first. And then once they reach an internal temperature of 110, then I am going to sear them. So let's see. Let's open this up. You can see the smoke in there. Just going to add that sear plate, start to get hot. See the bull horns. The Rectech grill's a little dirty there and needed some cleaning because it gets used quite a bit. All right, so we're going to let that go. I'm going to check. I'm not going to use my knife. I'm going to get a screwdriver or something because I think my vents in the back, they occasionally get crusted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and grab a screwdriver and just check the rear vent of that and make sure that the smoke is coming out as it should. Although, I guess if it wasn't venting, it would be more of a smoky flavor, so that can't be bad. But still want some ventilation and some airflow in there so it maintains its heat. Let's see, I'm going to use... That was my storage unit where I have all my tools. I have them magnetically on the walls. All right, the grass is getting long. I'm going to have to mow this. It's definitely spring. Spring is definitely in the air. It's really warm today. All right, so let me just check my vents on the back here. So I'll show you what I'm doing here is I'm taking this screwdriver and yep, there's a little bit of a buildup. I'm just kind of cleaning that out. It is hot, so you wouldn't want to touch this right now with your bare hands. Just cleaning that out. All right. That's pretty good. I'm going to rinse this off in the sink again, outdoor sink. And then I'll wipe it off again and put that back in the shed. We are at 215 on the internal smoker temperature, so that almost has reached my target of 225. See it right there. Once it reaches that internal temperature, those steaks should start to warm up quite a bit, and then I will flip them. But I'll get out my thermometer to check for the internal temperature reaching 110. It's again, because I'm doing reverse sear, it's a little bit slower. I'm not searing them right now. I'm just smoking them first. And then really the best thing to do is after I smoke them is to turn up the temperature on the sear plate when I do the sear. Sometimes I remember to do that, sometimes I don't. All right, I'm going to put this back with a screwdriver, and then we will check and see how our steaks are doing at that point. This is not necessarily the fastest process. Screwdriver said the camera accidentally. There we go. Put it back on. Oh, I also looks like I was in dual mode. So you may have seen me small on some of it. Hopefully I'm bigger now. All right. So let's go over and check the steaks. They probably could be flipped. They're definitely not going to be done yet. I'm going to use my camera again. What happened? My camera just went off. That's pretty weird. Let's see. There we go. I just turned it off and on again. All right, let's check out the steaks. They are starting to look better. I'm going to flip them over. That one's got some good lines on it. And we are at 225, the desired smoking temperature. But I'm just going to have to let them smoke for a little while longer. I'm going to get my thermometer ready because I want to check that temperature soon. Looks like my phone battery only has about 15%, so hopefully that's going to last. We'll see. All right, I'm going to use this one, I think. I've got two different thermometers. They're both magnetic, so I keep them on the fridge inside. This one is a Good Cook NSF. There's the magnetic part that stays on the fridge. When I open this, You can see temperature gauge kicks on. It's pretty accurate. So I'm also going to get some of my gloves, my smoking gloves, I guess. They're pretty thick, like black rubber. And I will put those on when I'm taking the temperature, just because it does get a little toasty in there now that it's up to temperature. These are the ones I use. They're Rapika safety product, but they're just like a black grill glove, smoker's gloves, I guess. And they're heat resistant. I wonder if it says what they're heat resistant up to. I don't think it says on here, but it's several hundred degrees, probably like 300, 400, and then things get a little toasty after that, but good protection. All right, so I'm going to put this on. I'm going to open my grill, and I want to check the temperature, see how close we're getting to 110. Let's see, this one, 94. This one's going to be less. Ooh, that's pretty cold still. 39. That one's 80. That one's cold. It looks like those two on the end, those were my two that were. Hold on. Should have closed all these other applications. Yeah, the two on the end, those were ones that were not fully thawed. So that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. What I'm going to do is pretty soon, the two internal ones, I'm going to put them on the sear plate. And then those will be done sooner. So I have this cooking sheet. It's a Nordic Ware, made in the USA. Pretty good quality one. I will use that. Excuse me. Let me get some water here. I'll use that for the two steaks that are done first. I'll have to take those off first, and then I'll do the other two. Oh, it's thirsty. That was good. Here's my water bottle. It's a chill out water bottle. Pretty standard. Kind of festive blue. Use that all the time. The water that I have in there is from my 6-stage reverse osmosis water filter. I really recommend you get one of those so you don't have as much fluoride and chemicals in your water. So I really like that. Oh, here's a long shot of my Rectech in the corner. Definitely some dirt on the ground there. I'm going to have to come back and probably clean that up, sweep it up a little bit. We definitely get a lot of wind and dust storms around here, so it does get pretty dirty out here outside. All right. So let me check the temperatures again on those two internal steaks, because if they're close to 110, I'm going to put them on the sear plate. All right, here we go. That one's 102. This one's 95. So that's pretty close to 110. I'm going to switch just those two to the sear plates. So watch how we do this. Yeah, it's on the sear plate. Here comes another one. All right. So I got those. Those two are on the sear plate. My other two, I'm going to flip, but they are not ready for the sear plate yet. All right. And then I'm going to close this up again. So we're getting a little closer. Once they're on the sear plate, those two steaks, they're going to move kind of quicker. Probably it's going to be about 3 minutes on each side. You may want to turn up your temperature, but because I still have the other two on there, I'm not going to do it. And it's probably going to be fine. I've done that before. While that's going, I'm going to set up my cooking pan. It's kind of a nice little shelf there on top of that's where the pellets go. So I'm going to get ready because I'm going to flip those two that are on the sear plate. And then after I do that, pretty soon they're going to reach the internal temperature which I want, which is 129. And then I'm going to take them off. The other two, probably about time I take off, they can go on the sear plates, and then those are going to take a little bit longer. So I'm just going to kill some time for a minute. Again, this is Brian Ference. You can follow me on X at BrianFerence1 or at BrianFerence.com, and I'm just reverse searing some steaks. The 4 steaks, the way I'm doing that is I'm smoking it first on my Rectech, and then after I do that, I'm going to sear them. All right, let me check my temperature. I'm gonna flip the two that are on the sear plate, and I'm gonna check the temperature. Let's watch. All right, looking pretty good there. That's getting close. Pretty good there. And a lot of times when you're doing this reverse sear and you smoke it, you'll get a little bit of a red coloring, which is nice. I'm taking the internal temperature right now. This is at 112. This one is closer. That's 122. So these are getting pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and close that up again. And probably in just another couple minutes, those first two are going to be done. So I'm going to take those off. And then I will move the other two to the sear plate. I've got that all kind of set up and ready here. I should, I'm going to just wait for a second. Happy Sunday to everyone, by the way. All right, let me take the temperature again. So this one, not quite ready. It's getting up there in 116. This one, 17, 18. Getting pretty close. Just going to leave it down, the hood down for another couple minutes. I usually like to take it off at 129. My wife does like them a little bit more rare. So depending on how they look, I might take them off a little early. We'll see. Ooh, I should put this clamp back on my pellets. I usually keep my wood pellets clamped when they're open outside, just to keep moisture off of them, and in case there's any little mice. I have seen a ground squirrel around here lately also. So that ground squirrel's probably getting into trouble. They usually do. All right, let me check my temperatures again. Here we go. 22, 123, 124. That one is pretty close. All right, that has reached 130. I'm going to take that one off. That one's coming off right now. And then I'm actually going to take this one off too. And then I bet these are ready for the sear plate, so on they go. And I want to take the temperature on those too. I want to see where they're at. That's still in the 80s. This one is higher. Well, 88, 84. Yeah, so those ones probably, again, they were partially frozen, so they're going on the sear plate a little bit earlier than I would have liked, but in the effort to get all 4 steaks out at somewhat the same time, I'm going to do that. Let's see. Those two look pretty good. Sometimes you'll get even more red colorization on that, depending on probably the pellet smoke and just how much heat and how long they're in there. Oh, I'm going to try and put this. So this is what it is. This helps keep my paper towel roll from unrolling all over the place. So see if I can put this on with one hand. Oh, let me set my camera up right there. Can't really see it, but I'm going to use 2 hands for this. It's a 2-hand job. There you go. All right, so again, this is Brian Ference. We're reverse grilling some steaks, reverse sear grilling some steaks. I've got 2 of them off. 2 of them are on the sear plate. I'm probably going to just flip those now. That one's starting to get some good color. And I am going to actually turn up my temperature a little bit. We'll just do it to 235. That might help those last 2 sear a little bit. My other 2 are pretty good. And I'm just letting those rest right now. And then in another minute, I'm going to check my temperature. All right, let's check temperature on this one. So we're in the 90s now. That one's at 111. Let me check this one again. All right, 105. So it was a bad read on the first time. So they're both about 105 to 111. Those are almost ready. I usually take them off at 129 or around there. Looks like my phone battery is going to last. Oh, there's Daisy. Get him, Daisy. She saw something. All right, I'm almost done. I'm probably going to flip them. Well, no, I'm probably not going to flip them. I just flipped them. Anyways, we're getting close to being ready. Just going to stall for a couple more minutes here. It's a beautiful Sunday. See the blue skies behind me. I think the temperature, it was warm today. It was probably in the 80s. That's Arizona for you. All right, I'm going to open this up again. Check the temperature. Once they get on the sear plate, they go pretty quick. Kind of directs that heat. I'm still getting a lower read on this one at first. Let me try going again. All right, 113. This one, the thermometer just kicked off. Let me see if I can. I'll open it, close it, and reopen it. Usually that works. Yep. 108. Yeah, they're getting pretty close. It's difficult when you're doing a live stream for everything to cook live. All right, just leave them on there. I'm gonna try to be patient. Normally, I walk away, get a drink, do something like that. That makes the time go by real quick. Sometimes you run back and you said, "Oh no, my steaks." That's happened to me before. You don't want to make that mistake with the steaks. Got the bad jokes. All right. I'm going to maybe flip them just one more time. That's pretty close. I'm going to give those just one more minute. I'm actually going to turn it off. It does like a fan countdown where it still kind of runs, just kind of slowly vents the heat out, so they'll stay nice and warm in there. But then I'm going to take those out, and then I'm going to serve them up. Check my temperature here. Okay, yeah, I've got 126, so that they're ready to come off now. This pulley's off. All right. There is the finished product. So this is Brian Ference. You can follow me at Brian Ference1 on X or brianference.com. What we've done is reverse seared 2 New York strips and 2 ribeyes. 2 of them were like half frozen, but pretty close to being done at the same time. And then I reverse seared them on a sear plate to 129, or approximately 129. Now letting them rest. So I'm going to take those in, serve those up. We're going to eat them. So again, please follow me at brianference.com, at brianference1. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day. God bless.